Hi guys, this is a short video explaining how you should answer question 3 of language paper 2, your language analysis question. So let's start by discussing what language analysis actually is. All we are doing is discussing the effects of that piece of language, preferably that piece of subject terminology, and the effects they have on the reader. Now, as you can see, I've included the AQA definition of AO2 there. I've crossed out structure because it's not relevant to this question, but I'll read it out just so we're 100% sure of what it is asking us. Explain, comment on, and analyse how writers use language to achieve effects and influence readers using relevant subject terminology to support their views. So it can be a bit of a tough question in terms of what you've actually got to write about. It could, as we know, be either the modern source or the historical source. Both are going to be non-fiction because it's language paper 2. It will vary in length. You might get one that will ask you to focus on 6 lines of the source. You might get one that will ask you to focus on the whole source. It's completely up in the air what you will get. Not that it matters. There will definitely be enough to analyse in the selection that it gives you. It's a 12-mark question, so including rereading the source and finding the things you want to analyse in there, it should take you about 15 minutes to answer this question. The important thing to remember is that you shouldn't just jump in and start looking for language features. We need to actually find things, as we can tell from the assessment objective itself, that are relevant to the question. So let's take a look at that question before we do anything else. And it says you now need to refer only to source B, in this case the whole source, the letter by Henry written to his father. How does Henry use language to try and influence his father? Now that's the bit we need to think about. How does Henry use language to try and influence his father? Now that you've read that question, you should be able to work out what effect the writer is trying to create. In this case, he wants to create the effect on the reader that he's trying to influence his father. Now, I know some people like to read through the source first. In this case, wouldn't say it's a good idea. You need to really focus on what that question is asking you to look at before you then go back and find things in the source. You might find some wonderful similes, metaphors, direct address, whatever in that source, but they might be totally unrelated to what that question is asking you to look for. Okay, so here's the source itself. Now, I'm not going to read this out, but you're more than welcome to pause the video at this point if you'd like to read through the whole thing and find some things yourself that I haven't highlighted. But you'll see I have highlighted some things that you might want to discuss when answering this question. Okay, so here's our model answer. I will read this out. Henry uses direct address to try and influence his father with the repetition of the pronoun you when he writes, "You will not let," "You will let me come home," which suggests he is making an emotive appeal to his father to get him home, appealing directly to his father as though he is the only one who can help. This is a contrast to his more formal use of "my dear father." Henry uses repetition of this phrase to try and show his father that he is dear to him, whilst also being polite and respectful in order to influence him. Now, you'll see that what I've done there is pick out some quotations that are totally relevant to that question, e.g. trying to influence his father. I've not just picked maybe other similes that you immediately see or anything like that. I've really carefully chosen what quotations to analyse, and I've discussed their effect on the reader and how they show he's trying to influence them. This is the key thing with that question. You must make sure the quotations you choose are relevant to answering that question. I hope this video has been helpful for you, but as per usual, if you do have any questions, please make sure you email your subject teacher. Thanks very much for watching.